Today we're going to talk about comparing and ordering fractions. Well, fractions aren't necessarily the easiest thing to look at, but when we do look at them, we notice that they have a denominator, they have a numerator. And that's pretty much it. We can't really look at a fraction and tell, well, this one's bigger, this one's smaller. It's kind of hard to see. So I'm going to give you some examples here, and we want to put these fractions in order from least to greatest. Well, there are two ways that you can do. Option one would be to change the fractions to decimals or percents. Looking at decimals and percents are a lot easier than looking at fractions. So I've created a chart for you here, and I have the fractions laid out. So what I want to do is I want to change them to decimals. So I know that 1/2 is 0.50 or 0.5. 7/8, and just remember to recall, to change from a fraction to a decimal, you divide, top in, bottom out. And once you divide 7/8, you get 0.875. 21/25 is 0.84. 2/3 is 0.6667, repeating. And 3/8 is 0.375. That is a great way to figure out the order of fractions based on their place value. Another way we can figure out what's bigger or not is to look at percents. And we know to change a decimal to a percent, you move the decimal over 1 2 times. So 1/2 is 50%. 7/8 is 87.5%. 21/25 is 84%. 2/3 is 66.7%. And 3/8 is 37.5%. So looking at these numbers, you can definitely tell which one's bigger, which one's smaller. The other option, if you're not as good as if you're not great at changing fractions to decimals or to percents, you can make a model. This is option 2. So here's my model. I'm going to take these same fractions and I'm going to draw fraction bars. And so 1/2. Well, what does that look like? Well, on a fraction bar, it's cut in half and only one of the two pieces are shaded. This represents 1/2. For 7/8, I'm going to make 8ths. So instead of halves, I'm going to cut this into 8 equal pieces. And from there, 7 of those 8 pieces are shaded. Next, I have 21/25. Well, I think of fifths. So I'm going to kind of break this into fifths the best way that I can. So that's fifths, and 5 times 5 makes 25. So I can break each one of the fifths into fifths. And that'll give me 25 pieces. And I want 21 of those 25 shaded. Okay, so that's 21 pieces shaded. Next we have 2/3. I'm going to break this into 3 pieces, and I want to shade 2 of those pieces. And then last, I want to do 3/8, and I'm only going to shade 1, 2, 3. So as you can tell, the bar that's the longest would be the greater fraction. The bar that's the smallest would be the smallest fraction. And so what I want you to do is I want you to place these fractions here in your example in order from least to greatest.